Yo, Aquarius energy in general. We about to get into this reading, you heard? This is going to be a more in-depth reading. It's actually going to be about practical advice. So this is going to be about something that you've been pondering on lately. You've been contemplating about it. You've been asking yourself, having a by yourself meeting and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what should I? How should I? Who? You know what I mean? One of those. And we're going to be digging into that and figuring out what it is that, you know, could assist you in making that decision. This is going to be a 5-card draw. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit extra. You know what I'm saying? And, well, that's what in-depth is for, right? So I may cuss, but I don't curse. And with that being said, let me grab this deck and get the shuffling and cutting these cards for you. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing, though? Like, can we, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. Truly, like, and I understand. You might be like, niggas, all that optimistic shit, knock it the fuck off already. And I get that, you know what I'm saying? If that's your vibe, I get that too, you know? It's not always peaches and cream. But peaches and cream is good. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to some peaches and cream. Let's try to get to some peaches and cream, and maybe this reading is going to assist you in getting there. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it anyway. But I'd like to thank y'all for the viewership, by the way. Checking out the Aquarius videos before we get this started. Yeah. That's why this is a bonus reading. So I'm going to cut, and we're going to get into it with no further ado. So this first card is going to be about the past influence on this matter at hand. All right? The Ace of Swords in reverse. So this situation that you're facing, bars. You heard that? Bars. Like, I just can't help it. I'm that good. But you had some mental blocks going on. There was something in the way of what you wanted to do. You wanted to start something new. Something new along the lines of... Okay, it was something new along the lines of a type of freedom involved with working or communicating. It's one or the other. Working or communicating, or work where you have to communicate. However, you were stifled when it came to... You had brain fog. That's the best way I could put it. You had brain fog. You were just not able to piece the things together in your brain to bring this stuff forward for the thing that you're thinking about right now. For the thing that you're seeking advice for. And that's how you know what I'm talking about right now. Whatever it is that you're seeking advice for, that's what we're talking about right now. This brain freeze that you had caused you to become hostile. This may have showed up in your relationship, I'm seeing, because I see Libra emblem in this card. It may have disrupted the communication within this relationship. And what it did is it prevented you from being in a higher octave mind of yourself. It prevented you from reaching the higher self. The higher self has the ideas and the connecting of the dots that you need to bring this thing that we're talking about into fruition. But it's just you couldn't. Sky was the limit. You couldn't break the firmament. You heard? You couldn't get outside to the ether. You couldn't get it. You couldn't get it. You couldn't get there. You couldn't even scrape the firmament. No disrespect. Just keeping it a being with you, you heard? Alright, so this may have caused you to think that you're a failure, or that you failed at whatever it is that you're thinking about right now. I would just normally say, from my own perception, that that's not true. But, you know, you're your own person, and you're entitled to that opinion if that's how you feel. Or really, it's not even how you feel, that's what you think. This is all in your mind, if you do think that way right now. By the way, just wanted to leave that with you. But that was in the past. What about now, right? What about now? What's the present influence? You're resting and you're thinking about that, because this is the Four of Swords. More mental energy. You're all in your head about this thing. You got to plan for the future, which is not being in the present moment right now, which is, it is what it is. But when you think about, we just drew a card about the past influence, we figured that out, and then we look at the present influence, and it's like, you're not present. You're way out there. Which is understandable, though, because if you feel like you failed at something in the past, because you weren't able to get your point across, you weren't able to connect with the people that you were communicating in order to do so, I get that you're probably reflecting. What you're doing right now is reflecting on that time and when you were communicating, and you probably said either this: I was communicating with the wrong person or wrong people about this thing, or I didn't do enough research. I just jumped the gun and jumped into it and believed that it's supposed to be special because, fuck, I'm special. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Granted. But I get some like mystical airbending energy with you right now, though. Like you feel like you're more in a mastery type of energy vibe right now. At the same time, you're not willing to jump out there and jump the gun this time around because you're strategizing now. You're planning. You're also finding a way of resting in order to do so. It's like your downloads are coming to you the more that you rest. Not only that, but your plan is getting bigger the more that you rest and you contemplate on it and you think about it. Rest is the key motivator right here, and this is something that you had to learn. You didn't know this before. You just thought you always had to. You always thought you had to go on what you know. Like you had to move on what you know. You always had to take action because I'm getting someone who has some education here. And I mean like accredited education, or, not just experience through life, intelligence. I'm talking about like something scholastic. And you felt the pressure and the need to build off of that like almost immediately. It's like just getting your degree and then jumping into the business world or whatever because you feel pressure to do so. It's like, well, why did I go to school? This might have even been maybe not a family. I don't think maybe your family pressured you, but you might have had a spouse or a partner, even a business partner, that may have pressured you into thinking that way. But let's look at the major influence. What's the major influence? What's it really about? The Hierophant in reverse. You want to be a rebel. You don't only want to be a rebel, you want to create some type of change in the world. Okay. I see even more why you've bumped your head and ran into some obstacles in the communication field when trying to get this thing off of the ground. When you have a majority of society already at the will of what societal pressure expects from them, you're gonna experience some blowback. You're gonna experience some scrutiny. You're gonna experience people challenging you and your stance. They're gonna question your lifestyle that you want to live. And I get that you are not the conventional type. Like, at all. And what happens is the way you think when you think unconventional like that, unorthodox, two things are going to happen. You're going to run into people who want you to change, and you're going to run into people who says, well, if I go through with this, if I link up with homie and we do this shit, we're going to change people, or we're going to change something. And everyone's not with that. Everyone, that can bring fear to some people. Like, oh, the status quo or the powers that be are not going to like that. And you're like, man, fuck that, man. What are you talking about? That's the whole point. I can't get with that shit. Like, don't you hear what I'm telling you? That's what happened in the past. Don't you hear what I'm saying to you? Like, can't you see what I'm telling you? Like, the shit is supposed to change. What's happening now is you're seeing even more of a pathway for you to do your thing now, because society is changing. Society is changing so much, you see, that no one, or should I say, there's only a small amount of people in the limelight who have authoritative positions that actually want to grab a microphone or step on a podium and say what it actually is. Because as soon as they do it, or as soon as most people do that, they receive the blowback. They receive the backlash. There's groups and groups and groups, different group, all coming out of everywhere. They're forming like every day. They want to cancel this one, cancel that one. And that's kind of like your point. Like, yo, people going to get canceled out this motherfucker anyway. They're canceling people left and right, but can you really be canceled if you truly doing what you're supposed to do? Not what you want to do. It's one thing to do what you want to do, but if that's not your hand, if that's not what you was born to do, if that's not what you was destined to do, that shit is not. You only got but so much amount of time, and even if you get a run, you gotta end with knowing that the whole thing was a fraud. Some people could live with that. I don't know. I don't think that's you. And I think you're kind of like laughing last, but it's like tee. It's on the inside during this resting period in the present moment, because you're like, look, all of this shit is unearthing. There's eruption over here, eruption over here, eruption over here. That's the change that you like. Like, that shit pumps you up. That's the shit that gets your gears going, because that's what you was initiating anyway. Something that was different. You may look different. You may have participate in non-traditional roles. You know what I mean? But it doesn't bother you. You're not like the type to bash the other side. You're just like, yo, I'm like this. Doesn't mean I'm a feminist. Or I'm like this. It doesn't mean I'm, trans, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. You make it fit the way it's supposed to fit. You're just a non-conformist, and that's what the major influence is right now. People who are in that same type of lane, and you getting empowered by it. Looking now, and you're like, yeah, even down to speak about it, and you're loving it. So, let's draw a card of advice right now for this thing, whatever it is. I don't have the major deets on what it is, but that's cool. That's okay. So, this is the Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay. Your advice right now is to not sweat the small stuff. And I say the small stuff because the person or the people that you ran into conflicts with in the past, behind this thing that we're speaking about, they upset your plans. And it's merely because they disagreed with you. It's merely because they couldn't see your vision. And it was just the wrong people that you communicated it to, or the wrong person that you communicated it to. So what I'm being told here is to not sweat that shit. Like, that was a missed opportunity, because I also feel like you didn't tell these people that for no reason. they could have did something about it. Maybe assisted you, helped you, said something for you, put a good word in for you, and they didn't. Because they ain't believe in the shit that you was talking. Or they didn't want to be associated with the shit that you was talking. They were actually rude to you too. They was talking like, they was talking greasy. Like they ain't have to do it that way, is what I'm getting. Like they could have used some tact. But I feel like because they opposed your plan, they felt that, I don't know, they felt that it made them feel bigger. They felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like they knew better. Therefore, they spoke to you in that type of way, in that type of demeanor. So it's advised to not think that you wasted your energy or wasted your time. No, you didn't. You needed that. You were supposed to experience that. Yeah. Because that person or those people are heading in their direction on their gun the whole shit. So you remember what I was describing, like people got their own groups, they got their own factions, they represent this, they represent that, they represent this. That person or those people are supposed to go charging ahead and keep representing what they're representing. But what I'm getting is they're more charging with the mentality of what they think instead of connecting with the heart chakra to remember what it is that they love. Or at least acknowledge what it is that they love. There's been a heart and mind disconnect amongst those people. I think it's all up there with them. It's all brain work. Which you were stuck in that for a while too. You were stuck in your mind, you know? Understandable. Alright, so look. This is what's going to be the outcome if you follow that advice. So to summarize the advice is to let go of the shenanigans that took place before. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. They did what they did. They are who they are. And it was a disruption to your plan. This is the way you're being told to perceive it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, this is the outcome if you follow that advice. Looks like a celebration, bitches. 6 of Wands upright. You're going to be recognized for what it is that the idea that you initially had. You're going to be recognized to keep it going. To be relentless in keeping it going. Not relentless, that's the wrong word. To be just determined to see it through, you know? Because relentless is not stopping to ponder, but you've done that. You're in that state right now. Resting and letting the downloads come to you so that you'll know exactly what to do that sits right with your intuition, and then you become empowered by that. That's going to bring you through. You're going to obtain people who are the exact opposite of the people who shunned your idea, who shunned what you wanted to do. They're going to embrace you. They're going to welcome you with open arms. You might become famous because of this. So the recognition might exceed just mere recognition. Your celebration may come in the way of some critical acclaim. You may get an award of some sort. I don't know what type. I'm just saying it's in the cards. Is definitely in the cards. Let me see something. It's an evolution. Excuse me. It's an evolutionary process. You can meet someone based upon your success. Like meet someone to the point where, you know, I don't know. I'm saying you know. You don't know. I don't know either. I'm just doing the numerology right now. Also, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna leave this right here. Ain't nothing else to talk about.